Kad sam imao, ti se dalje ovdje palio.
Kad je palio? 3 dana sam bio otišao. Demolira Fica! One of the first vehicle manufacturing plants in Yugoslavia was Zastava. Zastava made cars such as the Yugo, the Florida, the Zastava 101, the Zastava 750, also known as the Fica, or Zastava 650, or Zastava 800, the Combi. There's a lot of vehicles that Zastava made, and all of them are quite shit. I'm not joking, there's not a single good Zastava vehicle in Serbia. So the thing is, everyone who drives a Zastava drives it just because they're cheap, easy to repair, and there's no third. This vehicle packs a really shit engine. It's only 750 milliliters, so it ain't got power in it. But it could transport you when it was made, not now. When it was made, it could transport you from one end of Yugoslavia to the other. Many people had this car. It was easy to maintain, super easy. The interior itself was quite basic. There's no electronics as you'd expect from a car made in 1982. This is a 1982 model. This part here should be chrome. I don't have the money for that. This also should be chrome. Don't have the money for that, so I just painted it over with my father. No right hand mirror, which was quite common in vehicles back then. You only had the left, which means that when you want to register this vehicle, you don't have to have the right hand mirror, which is pretty cool. There are no reverse lights. If you want to see in the back, all you had to do was just turn on all your four indicators, and that will give just enough light in the wilderness to park your car. With this car, you kind of need to have essential tools. An axe, wrenches, all the wrenches this car needs, which is 8s, 10s, 9s, 11s, 13s. Put them all in your trunk. Problem is, when you have... Šta vi mislite o Fići?
Pa šta ima da mislim, ja sam ga imao, služio super je bio.
Koje godište bilo?
Radio sam, a?
Koje godište bilo vaše?
Pa evo ne znam, pa stariji bio. Imao sam jedan što se prvi, što se napred otvara vrata, ovako u masa, to su oni.
Je, to 60-ti, 70-ti.
Pa to je, to sam je kupio, radio po terenima, pa posle njega skupam, otive bankina, udarim u ora jedan i pa kupim, posle drugi prebacim sve, u onome nije bio motor dobar.
Aha.
Prefarbi ulio, potom sam ga i prodao.
Koje je bilo? Koje boje je bio vaš Fić?
Bela. Onaj prvi bio je ovako nekako zejtinjavo. Imao sam i kombi Fićin, onaj teret.
Zastava 800? Ono.
Da, 850. I on isto ranije išao s tim vašarima malo. To propadne, ta harguma, ta prirubničeva, to podigneš na putu, promenim teren
Da, prirodnici su mi svi pričali da je.
4 šrafa odbiješ ili čas, jer treba da mi je to struka, ali oko toga se znao.
Ništa, hvala vam za komentar. This car runs on petrol. Not diesel, petrol. Because, of course, many cars back then diesel wasn't really that common of a engine back then. However, petrol back then was really clean. There were no substances in that petrol to, how do you say, dirty your carburetor. However, because of that, they didn't have a fuel filter. And when I poured today's petrol into the Zastava 750, I had a lot of problems with the carburetor clogging up. And then my uncle was like, why don't we just cut the tube here, put a basic fuel filter, and that will solve your problem. And lo and behold, it actually did. It's insane how basic the Zastava is, that you can really fix it whenever you want, however you want. No two Zastava engines are the same. Everyone has their own way of fixing it, which is why this car is so dear to me, because it feels more personal. Me and my father worked on it. Everything we thought of to fix it is ours. Of course, you have help with other people's ideas, but, the whole point is that it's your Zastava. The reason why I enjoy the Fiat so much is just because if you look at it and squint really hard, kind of looks like a Porsche 911, which is one of my dream cars. However, this costs less than €1,000. A Porsche 911 costs 40,000. More. Probably more than that. Generally, if you look at it from a really good angle, it's kind of a beautiful car, It's like vintage, You drive in the middle of the village, everybody knows, oh my God, it's a Fiat. It's a car I saw in my childhood. I don't see it in 2023. However, now it's there. Nostalgic car. People will talk to you. You'll get more friends. I don't like talking to people, but I like this car. So it feels good when people just look at your car. It's like, the pog, It feels good. Like you made someone's day better by showing them a little piece of their history. My father wrote on the glass here, "Uspeo sam u životu," which means I succeeded in life, which is kind of ironic because if you own a Zastava, you didn't really succeed. And I put a sticker that says push, because this car breaks down so much that you kind of push it more than you drive it. Here we have the Zastava 750 milliliter engine. Over here is a fuel filter. We got the air filter. We got a water pump. You got the razvonik, the thing that sends the electrical signals to the engine. The sync up like. I don't know what it's called in English. I'll probably find it on the internet. Put it the subtitle. We have the exhaust here. Everything you can think. Here's a fuel pump. Everything you can think of, it's there, right? Oh God, my carburetor's fucked. Let me go over here, take off the air filter, and you got access to the carburetor. This is why people loved the Zastava 750, the Fica. The Zastavas in general, the thing is, Zastava engines are all quite similar. So if it's just so easy, it is just today's cars don't do this. I opened the Fiat Steelers engine bay, and this like, oh, I want to take off the car battery. I have to take this off, then I have to do that. Oh, I have to replace the front headlight. Oh, I have to take off so many parts in front to get to the thing I want. But with this, it's just so simple. It is just so simple. Another thing that's dear to me is how all of the stuff you see in the car, you know, the water. This is broken. This works, surprisingly. That's the hazard lights. This is the normal lights. Here's the windscreen. Yeah. You know, indicators. And to change the short range lights to the high beams, you do this stick here, which is kind of funny. Of course, you also have the gear stick and the choke. Now, manual choke back then was normal, and I think it was normal in most cars. But yeah, it's like you kind of need it, otherwise the car doesn't work. Makes sense. It's all automated in modern vehicles, but back then you had to do do your own stuff. You had to suffer in silence as the car doesn't turn on in the winter, and you have to just choke the engine to get more fuel in, so it burns harder, so it's nicer, and it actually moves. So what do I think of the Zastava? If you're European and you want to ship it over to yourself and you want to give me 50,000, I will get 50,000 for this. Yeah, sure. Would I miss it? Yes, but do I need money? Yes, please give me money. Thank you. The Zastava's top speed on paper says like 100 and something, right? 100 something kilometers. I don't know. I did not beat 75. The thing is, my speedometer is broken. However, with Google Maps, you can see your speed. Me and my friend drove and measured the top speed. Like, this car was steaming hot, and it was 75. So yeah, it's not fast. It's probably dangerous on the highway. So you know, if I ever need to transport it somewhere else, I'll probably just get a fucking trailer. I'm not insane. Sorry. But for village driving, city driving, it's pretty chill. You know. If you live in a place with a lot of hills, I do not recommend this car because it's not gonna go up it. But if you live in a valley like me, where you sometimes have hills, yeah, it's pretty decent. You know, it's just a nice car. I want Zastava 101. I want Zastava 650, the one with the doors that go like that. I want the Zastava 850, the combi, as the guy said earlier. It's nice.